Like my daughter now, my brother used to tell her that eat beans. So when you be like, what they used to tell us then, eat beans, you will grow tall. So I was like, no, you grow by age. It's not by beans. So if I want to eat beans, I will eat beans. So it's because she has the idea of what my brother was telling her. If what my brother was telling her, she doesn't have the idea, she'll have just believed what my brother is telling her.
Hi guys, welcome again to my channel. My name is Oluwatobiloba Adeboyego, also known as Tobi Bonike. On this channel, I bring you interesting things on lifestyle, faith, business, and any other good thing in between. So this is a second part of the first video I did, which is on interesting parts on parenting, which was properly discussed by my guest, Mrs. Koiki here. I will still introduce her again, for those of you who have not seen the first video. So if you haven't seen the part 1 of this video, please check it out. I left a link in the description box below, which will lead you to it. So let me introduce my guest to you. She is a hardworking and multi-talented super mom of 2 strong children. Mrs. Olaide Titilope Koiki.
Thank you, viewers, and thank you for having me here.
Okay, thank you for gracing my space today.
Thank you.
So today we are rounding up on the topic I started the last time, which is interesting, or some aspects in parenting, and that's why I brought a guest here who is a parent to put my viewers through certain things. And the video is even specific. It's specifically tailored to children, like the elementary level, because if you listen to my first video, if you watch my first videos, you will see that it's more on children. Parenting is a wide something, I'm very sure, but we are limiting it to children here. So without further ado, let's get started. First thing we are talking about here today is discipline. In terms of that, we are talking of disciplining of children and listening to the children. So those are just the 2 points she will be highlighting today. I brought her here because she's experienced. She's a parent. Please, she's the one for now. She's the one that is qualified to speak on issues like this. She's the parent here between the two of us. She's the one. So first, discipline. Talking about discipline now. Would you say that beating children every time is the best way to discipline them, or how else do you think children can be disciplined?
Thank you. Beating them all the time is not the best, because when you beat them all the time, they get used to it. So even if you don't want to beat them, they will have prepared themselves ready for you to beat them. They will be the one to give you their hand and Mom beat me. But you should have another way of disciplining them. Instead of beating, just ask them to go and sit somewhere, or you lock them up in the toilet. They don't like to be in an idle place. They don't like it at all. They will be screaming, "Mommy, please, please, please." You'll not be like, did I hold knife or what? So beating all the time is not the best. So we should look for another way to discipline them.
Wow.
Thank you.
That reminds me of my childhood too. My mom didn't always beat us, but she knew how else to discipline us. And when she would beat us too, let's not go into that.
Yeah.
So another part of discipline in children, you know those children that when their parents refuse to give them something, or you take them to the supermarket, "Mommy, I want this sweet." Their mommy says no, and then they go to the floor and start, they start throwing tantrums. They start doing anyhow, embarrassing their parents. Mrs. Koiki, please, how do you think that can be, addressed? Because I've seen a situation where there was a former place of work of mine. The mother was carrying that girl, and I don't know what she asked the mother for. The mother said no. She just jumped down from her mother's hands and started, throwing tantrums and shit rolling on the floor. I was embarrassed on behalf of the mother. Like, what is going on here? So how do you think that can be curbed or curtailed in children?
Well, even Bible makes us understand that spare the rod and spoil the child. It's not every time that they ask you for something you give them. Things about life is not about rosy all the time. You should let them know that there is time and season for everything. If you ask and I have, I will give. And sometimes if I have, I will deny you not giving, because giving you all the time, you will feel that it is your right. Me giving you, and it is not always like that. So for the child that was throwing tantrum, I would just be looking at him or her. Yes, when you are tired, you will get up. Yes. As long as you don't harm yourself. It's when you want to harm that will be scared. But once you don't want to harm yourself, if you like roll from here to anywhere, you are good. So
wow, that's very interesting. So on the second point is listening to children. So you see this listening to children when our own generation now growing up, we used to ask our parents, maybe our parents will tell us, sit down there, don't go to this, don't touch that thing and that. Yes, daddy and mommy, okay, we have heard. But you see, children of now, watching little children now, they will ask you why they must not do that thing. So do you really think that children should be listening? Do you think you should always allow them to have their way first? Let's talk about that first.
Having their way in what way? Is it like parent listening to them?
Yes.
Or what?
Okay, like, what I mean, let me explain further. Like, I said earlier that in our own time when we were growing up, our parents said, don't do this, don't do that, and we obey.
Yes.
It's not that our parents didn't listen to us, right? But when you give instructions, we obey to later. But children of now, you give them instructions, listening to, it's not that you won't, okay, let me, I'm mixing things up here. It's not that you wouldn't listen to your children, right? But when they complain that, mommy, we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that, why must I do this?
By
obey
guiding
exactly
them.
So that's what I'm trying to say, that by listening,
okay,
should you listen to them in that aspect?
Yes, we should always listen to them. Even if you are saying things that doesn't make sense, please try and listen to them, because there is one case of one pastor and one pastor missus. While their child was growing up, I don't know where she had it from, maybe from school or somewhere. She asked the mom, what is pennies?
What?
And the mom was like, where did you hear that one from? Let your daddy come. When the daddy comes, he was like, Dad, what is that? You keep quiet. Where did you hear that one? You must not say that in this house again. Instead of them to have enlightened the girl that is for this, is for that, and now all you need to know is you don't have to know any much about it. Just yes. So when the girl was going to school, it was the driver that was taking her to school. So, and she now asked the driver that, Mr. something, what is pennies? And the man looked back that, where did you hear that one from? He said, somebody told me. Didn't you ask your mom? I asked my mom. Mom said I should ask my dad. I asked my dad. My dad said I should not say it again. The man said, okay, don't worry. When we are coming back from school, I will explain it to you. So when they were coming back from school, the man took the innocent girl to his house, and when he got there, he showed him what pennies was. And from that day, the man kept on sleeping with the girl. He slept with the girl for good 8 years before the parent got to know. So what are we saying in a nutshell is that you should always listen to them and try to explain whatever they ask. Because children, we are in a computer age now. They are so curious. They want to know. They want to know everything. They want to know everything. So by not explaining to them, you are doing them harm. You are not helping them. So if you explain to them, and when they get outside, nobody can nobody can deceive them. Like my daughter now, my brother used to tell her that eat beans. So when you be like what they used to tell us then,
you grow tall.
She was like, no, you grow by age. It's not by beans. So if I want to eat beans, I will eat beans. So it's because she has the idea of what my brother was telling her. If what my brother was telling her, she doesn't have the idea, she'll have just believed what my brother is telling her. So please, let's try have time for them and listen. But whatever they want to say, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense, let's listen to them and try to explain why. Not that you will be telling them another thing. No, let them know the reason why. Because once they know the reason why, so nobody can deceive them outside or lure them into things that they are not supposed to do. So please, parents, listen and try to explain things to your children. Thank you.
That is deep.
Hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, viewers, thank you for taking your time to, listen to my guest. She has talked extensively on these areas, and I'm very grateful you graced this my show today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure some people have learned one or two things, from what she has said. So, having a recap of what she said: discipline. Please, it's not every time beating. And the second part, which is listening to the children,
Yes.
you heard all she said. Explain things to them. Just parents, you know how you balance things now. So may God help everybody. Thank you for watching. And if you know you have not watched the part 1 of this show, please, I will leave the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for taking time out again to be with us. Please kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not. Share, like, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, I don't know what you are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we'll come your way again next time. Bye.
Bye.